In this diagram of mandatory authority, we see the application of stare decisis in the red lines, meaning that the upper level courts of a jurisdiction are binding upon the lower level courts. Same goes for federal as it goes for state. Now, what about between jurisdictions, whether it be between federal jurisdiction and state jurisdiction, or two different state jurisdictions? Well, a decision of the highest court in one state is not going to be binding upon the intermediate court of another state, nor is the intermediate court going to be binding upon the trial level of another state. Trial level to trial level is not binding. From federal to state, a decision of the United States Court of Appeals, the intermediate level, will not be binding upon a state's lowest court, nor will one trial level court, the federal trial level, be binding upon the trial level of a state. Now, the United States Supreme Court, though, is of course binding upon the intermediate level of a state. And in the case of the United States Supreme Court against the highest court of a state, it depends. If the precedent was issued by the United States Supreme Court, the precedent will be treated as binding on all courts, with the exception of if the Supreme Court precedent involved a matter of state law, it will not be binding upon the highest court of the relevant state. So we'll put a question mark there. Now, as for the Constitution of a state, that of course is binding upon that particular state. So the Massachusetts Constitution is binding upon the state of Massachusetts. Will it be binding upon the state of New York? No. However, the United States Constitution is binding on all states, of course. Now, moving on to persuasive authority, now the red lines show which court's decisions are persuasive upon the other courts. So the lowest court's decisions may be persuasive upon the upper level, and that's the same in each jurisdiction. Now, with persuasive authority, a decision from one state's highest court may be persuasive to another state's highest court. Same goes at the intermediate level or the trial level. From federal to state, the state decisions may be persuasive upon federal jurisdictions. Same goes for highest level courts to lowest level courts in each jurisdiction. Well, that concludes the lesson. If you have any questions, feel free to contact me at the email address here or stop by the third floor of the library. I'd be happy to talk to you and answer any questions that you have. Look forward to seeing you in class. Thanks very much.